Coming to you live from the Hellmouth adjacent. It's the Popular Cinema Podcast. I'm your co-host Payne,
And I'm Bill.
and welcome to episode 72.
Yo,
Yo, Bill, what's happened? Que pasa, senor?
what's poppin' stoppin'?
Oh, I like you with the lingo. Look at you. You got some hip hop in you.
That's an old one. I haven't heard that in a while.
Why do I have two of your things up in the control room? Don't know.
Because you called me and I answered it twice. And I think, are you still there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I don't know exactly why. Should I? I guess I'll close this one. There we go. How's that?
Yeah, you're already with the issues with doing things that we
Oh,
normally don't do.
that's really rich. Me with issues. Lucian's
So
over there with a string and some popsicle sticks.
the reason why I'm 5 minutes late also for the show is because I was having myself a lunch snack and I was having like four ribs, which were delicious.
So I saw the text that you sent earlier. I don't understand the whole ghetto. Like, did you have to build a thing to make the ribs in?
Well, your husband suggested for me to put the ribs in a roaster.
Oh boy. And let me get this right. You people over there in like suburban utopia don't have a roasting pan?
We do not have a roasting pan.
Oh. So what'd you do? Like it out of a trash can?
I
Really?
I took Chris's grandson to Drug Mart and I was going to fashion something out of some sort of tin tin foil things and shove some other thing in there to lift it up over the liquid. And that's what we did. Of course, the kid looked at me and goes, I don't think this is going to work. And I go, ye of little faith, all this will work.
I don't understand. What did you buy?
I bought like those like turkey pans you see in the dollar store. They're made out
Yeah,
of like aluminum. Yeah, I
that
just
was
bought.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, I bought two of them, and I put some sort of metal object in there so the ribs will sit over the liquid. And then I
And what's
put
the liquid? The liquid is the Coke?
the Coke. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then I put the other pan on top of that, and I just shoved it in there. It's a ghetto five version of a
Roasting
roaster.
pan.
Yeah.
Instead of just going and buying it. Because you can buy a $300 toaster and a $200 kitchen mat, but heaven forbid you should actually buy a real reusable roasting pan.
Well, the issue is not I'm opposed to buying a roaster. It's just that I need to research it to buy the quality one.
Oh, I can't. I can't. I just can't. Go to Walmart, buy some shit that's on sale, and call it a day. You're not over there cooking ribs for the fucking Queen of England or the fucking, President of Canada, because I would dare not say the President of the United States. But anyway, I don't know why
So
it has to always be so ridiculously complicated with you.
well, not with everything, but you just don't want to buy just anything roaster. What do you want to just buy like?
It's a roasting pan, Jay. They don't really make like, I don't think they have like the $300 version of a roasting pan.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure.
Okay. Well, I don't know anybody that uses one, but I guess you'll be the first. I'm sure. So the next time I come up there for like Aquaman, no, we're doing Aquaman down here. Uh oh, it'll be your turn for I think
Glass?
glass. Absolutely. Then I'll get some like high end ribs cooked in some kind of like gold
Oh,
ensconced
well, it'll be
roasting pan.
winter, so I don't think I'll be going outside to roll those ribs. So that's unfortunate. They came out great though.
Well, I'm sure my husband doesn't play when it comes to barbecue.
Yeah. Oh,
Ironic because he's white and I'm black and don't know shit about it. But okay.
uh, there's something else I have to discuss too about what was going on this afternoon. I went down the rabbit hole.
Of
One of our topics we're going to be talking about is like twist endings or surprises we didn't see coming.
Mhm.
And I was looking at an article with movies with like twist endings and surprising, and one of the movies on the list was The Vanishing. Have you heard of The Vanishing?
I think I'm confusing it with the hidden with Kyle McLaughlin.
Oh yeah, I like The Hidden back then. That's one of those like gems from like the '80s, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I guess I don't know what I'm.
Anyway, well, I don't know anything about The Vanishing except, I've seen it, I heard about it, but as you always joke with me, if it's some the old movie like I just shut it down, black and white. It seems like it's like an old movie. Well, it's not that old. It's a 1988 film, but it was by some. I think the director's name is George Sluizer. Whatever. It's a foreign director. It's a foreign movie. The 1988 version. It was remade in 1993, starring Keith Sutherland and Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
Anyway, the whole point of this is my woman saw this movie. I'm reading over the description. It's where the woman disappears at a truck stop, and then the guy goes looking for her. Well, I went down the rabbit hole for the past 25 minutes here because apparently, my woman's just like, well, we can watch it. Oh, you want to watch The Vanishing? So I'm reading some more on it. And did you know? And I've actually watched the review with Siskel and Ebert. They actually did a review of the foreign version in 1988, and then they did another Siskel and Ebert for the 1993 version. Did you know that the director of the 1988 version, also directed the 1993 American version?
I did not.
I was.
You know what? Did you know I've not seen either version?
Well, I haven't either. Because I'm reading about it because it's the twist endings. I'm kind of curious, and as usual, this kind of upset me. The 1988 version. Listen, you people can read about it. I'm going to spoil it here. In the 1988 version, the woman gets kidnapped. The guy goes looking for her, only to get kidnapped himself and wind up buried alive. That's how the movie ends. That's
Okay.
the foreign 1988 version. I guess probably the whole theme is curiosity killed the cat. I believe in the 1993 version, the American version, the same director made it to where I think Keith Sutherland saves the day. They kind of did a twist on it, and you know how I feel about that. It's just like, why did the ending have to change for the Americans?
And did you find any answers to this question?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we can't handle it. Maybe we want our heroes to end up winning at the end of the day. I don't know. Siskel and Ebert liked the foreign version. They
What
did
about the
not like
American
the
version?
American version, and they looked at it as like we're stupid Americans and we can't handle, a
You
version.
can't handle the truth. That's why.
I don't know. It kind of makes me. I ended up watching the foreign version ending on YouTube the last 2 minutes, and I don't know if I really want to watch the American version. Um, anyway, so I'm
So
also
this is
late.
this is the YouTube rabbit hole you went down trying to find the ending of this movie.
Yeah, I was just sitting there, like, kind of going over this whole thing here, going, do you want to watch the original? But when I started watching the trailer for the foreign version, it was kind of annoying.
Why?
It was just the way it was filmed and the actors in it. It just seemed annoying. Like, it's not something I would want to watch.
So which one did you decide on then?
I don't know. I'm gonna maybe just watch some TLC tonight with my woman.
What if she said she wanted to? I don't understand why every time she says that she's going to try to watch a movie with you, that you like poo-poo it at the last minute. Do you not understand? In order to indoctrinate this woman, you're going to have to get her used to like the vibes and the tones and
well,
the.
Well, listen, The Vanishing seems like a thriller and a suspenseful movie, so this is right up my alley, and she's down to watch it, so that's a good thing.
That's what I'm
But,
saying. But now you're
but
deciding maybe not to even do it.
but now that I know, I feel like I'm getting some sort of like fake handbag of goods here. I mean, it's not like it's the original ending. They just give me some soft pedaled, some American, let's be happy at the end, sing kumbaya stuff. I don't want that. I want the foreign version ending.
Well, then watch the foreign version.
Well, the foreign version looks like it's crap, and nobody wants to
I
read
can't.
subtitles.
These people can't.
My woman's not going to read subtitles tonight, and I don't feel like reading subtitles tonight either. Nothing to get subtitles. I like those movies, but I don't feel like reading it tonight. Why couldn't the
All right.
American version just copy the foreign version and move on?
Well, that's a legitimate argument if that was the only version you had available. But apparently, there's another one out there for you, but you just don't feel like doing the work in order to get the shit done. So it's really kind of on you.
What if there was a Star Wars version? What year was Star Wars?
77. I can't with you.
What if George?
I can't.
What if George Lucas did another version 4 years later, Star Wars, but I don't know.
They
Maybe
did. It was actually called The Empire Strikes Back. Don't know if you're familiar with that one either. 1980.
I'll come up with a better example later then. All right.
All right.
Oh, I can't. I
All
can't.
right.
Anyway, how
So
are
are
you
we?
doing?
I'm okay. I mean, getting ready to go back to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's safety training day, so at least it'll break up my monotony for a little bit in the afternoon.
Oh, you're out of the
Well,
office then, huh?
yeah, but I'm a little bit um apprehensive about the whole thing because it's one of those like real life safety emergency things where like they have actors pretending to be people getting shot by cops who are using blanks and stuff, and everybody has to like pretend like it's really happening. I don't know. I'm really up for this. I don't know.
Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna be shot with the taser?
I don't know because they've already picked the people who are going to play the victims, and they're like secretly in your group, but you don't know who they are.
Is
But so
this
it's not me. But anyway, so I'm thinking if we're going to play this game like realistically, then realistically, if I go running down the street, am I going to get in trouble for like abandoning the thing? Because in real life, that's what I would do, like flying down the street at the speed of light, away from this situation. So, so I wonder, like, if I just like run to the mall, am I going to get like busted for abandoning this exercise? Because that's really what I would actually do.
So it's good to know that your colleagues. You should probably ask that question so their colleagues know that you're going to be a coward in this
Oh, I've
situation.
already
That
told them. Oh, I've already told these chicks what's the deal. I said if anybody ever comes in here with some kind of, weapon or something, I'm out. I'm not going to pause, stop, ask questions. I'm gone. So when I tell you all to run, if you don't, that's on you. Because I'm not going out like that. That's all I can say. All I can say is I'm not going out that way. What happens to those people, that's really on them.
This guy I used to work with. There was a guy next to me in the office. His name was like Fred, and Fred was a little bit like off sometimes. And there was just something a little bit off about him. Nice guy, intelligent, but there's something where you're just like, I don't know. He might be the guy that comes in one day. And so he was going
Sure.
through like a divorce and some financial stuff, which seemed to add more stress to him, which caused him to be a little bit even more quirkier than usual. And all I know is the other guy, let's just call him Larry, would come into my office and he just kind of
Are
look
we
at me
calling
and be
him
like,
Larry because that's his actual name? Because I think that there is a Larry that you used to work with, and that
yeah,
was actually his name.
yeah, that's his actual name. So
Okay.
much for that.
Really? Okay.
So Larry would come in the office and he'd look at me and goes, "Listen, I'm not saying like that Fred is going to do something, but when I come to you and I say it's time to go, I need you not to hesitate. I need you to get up and I need you to move. Okay? Because you're going to get one chance. I'm not going to sit
Right.
here and try to explain it to you. I'm going to say, let's go. And then I need you to get up and go.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, there's only one
Bill,
way out of my
what's,
office.
what's happening, Bill? Is everything okay? Is Betty okay? What's going on, Bill?
Yep.
What's that shooting?
All
Is it
they're going to see
fireworks?
is like the Kool-Aid outline of the Kool-Aid man through the wall because there's only one way in or out of my office, and I'm going the opposite direction of the person with the weapon. So, yeah, all I can tell you is you've got one chance. When I say move, move. If you don't move, I'm not responsible for what happens to you.
Did the people in the office say, Bill, if something goes, I'm going to try to help you out more. I'm going to try to make sure everybody have they.
They won't have to worry about it. If I get shot first, that's the only reason they're going to need to help me. Other than that, they don't have to worry about it because I'm going to be out.
Uh,
So,
so what's this training? Are they supposed to?
it's terrorist training exercise in the event of some kind of like shooting, on the premises or whatever.
Huh,
Intruder alert, whatever you call it.
we don't have that over at my office. We don't have
Really?
that terrorist. I think, but
Maybe
maybe
you
because we
all
have
should. I
police.
mean, you do work for the government. Perhaps that you should maybe consider mentioning that because
Well,
those are the buildings that usually get shot up first.
well, we do have police officers at various entrances and exits. Checking things. detectors, so maybe that's the
Are
reason
those
why
the
we don't
same
need
ones that are over there shooting the kids?
Not all
Uh,
officers are shooting the kids. We do have a few bad seeds here and there, but they're not all doing it, Bill.
oh, okay.
I
So
think
those are the ones we're going to entrust your Black Lives Matter to.
listen. I mean, technically, the way they have it is you have the employees just rolling in. They could be bringing all sorts of
Don't
stud
they have to
missiles
have a
in.
Don't they have a security checkpoint?
Well, we have it, but we just flash our badge and walk through. You know how it goes.
No,
What's your
no,
point?
no, 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 no. Let me get this right. So the building that has an actual security thing where like you have to put your stuff on the conveyor belt in the airport, like at the hospital emergency rooms now they have these too, where you have to put all your stuff on the conveyor belt and walk through, and if your belt goes off, you have to show them your belt buckle. Um, you all, because you work there every day, just flash a thing and don't have to go through this process.
Sure, I bring my backpack with, all sorts of pressure cookers and dynamite. I just flash my badge that says pain and I walk right through the door while some
What is
other
the
old,
point of having security then? Why even bother?
well, probably because they're assuming that I'm not going to be the one that blowing up. It's going
How
to
the
be
hell would they
somebody that
know?
I know. Listen, I don't make the system.
Well, that's
I,
just stupid.
I didn't create the protocol.
I understand, but that just doesn't make any. I would not feel comfortable with this process if I was somebody who had a badge and was checking myself in every day without being checked. The
Listen,
whole point is so that you people don't end up getting slaughtered by some wayward employee who decides because he didn't get a 15-cent raise that he's going to take out the entire floor with him.
I think the problem is it's the hellmouth bill. I think that they're already just depressed and downtrodden. And I think they have other issues than to actually start blowing up the building. I think that's probably what it
Really?
is.
Those are the very people that do actually blow up the buildings. The ones that are downtrodden and are depressed and have no reason to live. Those are the ones that usually kill everybody.
Well, I think though
Anyway,
that don't they go to other places that are where they're happy and things are going well? I mean, that's kind of like going to the
no. They
okay.
go in
All
the
right.
place that doesn't require them to go through a security checkpoint
Well, this will be
because it's
great.
easiest.
In 2 weeks from now, you can give us a update on terrorist training and some things we can do. Like
I will.
maybe we can apply to theater situations, or maybe going into video stores, or something else on how to respond and react.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. All
Not looking
right.
forward to it.
All right.
Anyway,
So I guess we'll move on.
sure.
All right. I did come up with the actual script. I did prepare a little bit, believe it or not.
Well, there's a couple stories that we should probably discuss. I mean, it's
Yeah,
been a
yeah.
little slow news cycle, but there's still some things
Oh
out
yeah,
there
no, there's some.
popping.
This is going to get your blood pressure up. This is going to get my blood pressure up, and I'm sure super fan Melissa's blood pressure is going to go through the roof yet again. So, the motion pictures of arts and sciences.
Oh boy.
Oh, there you go. I looked through and I'm like, you know what? This is something after our anniversary show. Listen, they've been making some changes over there. They've been
At
making
over where?
the Academy Awards.
Well, you didn't mention
Okay, the MPAs. I'm getting there, Bill.
that. Okay.
Back in 2009, they expanded their Best Picture list from 5 to 10 movies because they're trying to make sure that movies like The Dark Knight get their due. But
Okay.
anyway, they've had some more scandals since then. Oscars so white. They just been taking a lot of hits lately. So
Ratings
now,
going down
well, apparently this was their all-time low rating. All-time low rating.
this past year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now in 2020, on February 9th, they're going to be making some changes. They're going to be having a 3-hour telecast, and they're
Oh,
going to
thank
try to make
God.
this more globally accessible by adding, quote, a new category designed around achievement in popular film. How do you feel about the achievement in popular film starting in 2020, Bill?
Heart emoji.
I can't. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be Hulk angry today, Bill.
Well, you're allowed
Why
to
is it?
be
Why is it? Why
upset.
is it the heart emoji for you? Wait, let me ask you this: is any new details, come out regarding what this achievement of popular film is going to look like, what it's going to be based on, what's the formula, what's the
I
criteria.
did not. There was an article that I'll have to go back and read. I saw the headline, but I didn't bookmark it by accident. Where they said the head of the MPAA or the Academy was saying he was justifying the reasons why they decided to make this category. I'm interested in reading the. I don't need them to actually back up the reason for me, but I'm interested to see what type of argument he's making for the case, since it
Okay.
is somewhat controversial. Um,
So tell me more about your heart emoji then.
okay, I mean, here's the thing, Jay. In the past, like we discussed many times on this show, in the past decade or so, since the last time they nominated a movie that I actually saw, which has been probably since I would say The Dark Knight. Before that, The Lord of the Rings. I haven't really given two craps about the Oscars because 90% of the movies that they nominate don't interest me to see or to sit and watch. So there are a lot of movies that are very, what should we say? I mean, the name of the show is Popular Cinema Podcast. So that are popular movies that people pay their hard earned money and take their families and buy the overpriced concessions to go and see, that just because they're popular movies doesn't make them less of a quality film. And that's becoming more and more popular with the rise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as just one example. You know, um, in fact, probably as we discussed before, the first winner of this popular film Oscar is more than likely to be a Marvel film. The question only is which one, because they've had two extreme hits in one year, Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War. I would say because of the temperature of the climate of the environment that we're in right now, Black Panther's got this on lock. But I don't think it should just become a Marvel award. I mean, there are other popular movies that are worthy of receiving attention. I mean,
Well, this
the
is set
fact
to
that they're
air.
locking
This
would not be necessary if they weren't locking out the movies that are popular. But the fact is that they have locked them out. For over a decade, they have not recognized films that are widely considered popular cinema movies. And so it's time for them to start recognizing, and I don't care what category they put it in, but they need to start recognizing the movies that people are actually enjoying out there in theaters and not just the awards bait that gets released in New York and LA to qualify for an Oscar award stuff. So
now this is according
I'm
to
here for it.
the information I have. It says it's set to air in 2020. So this would encompass Black Panther then.
Well, if it's 2020, then no, it would not. But I was under. Is it not under? So they're going through one more year of the old standard system before
Yeah,
they go through this.
yeah, this is the information, the latest information that I read. Yeah.
Well, that ticks me off, but okay. Um, I can think of two movies that are going to be in that category already in 2020. So if that's the case, then that's cool. Although I prefer it to be this year, but okay. Because if it's not this year, then obviously Black Panther's not going to win, and I really don't have a problem with Black Panther not winning something.
Oh.
But
I'm going to see if I can verify this and try to maybe get some sort of intern to look up that. But I just read that. Anyway, Bill, you know where I'm at on this. Superfan Melissa wrote like a diatribe on text messages on the venom she was spitting. She was spitting fire on this topic. I didn't even have to write anything because she was saying what my soul was thinking. Anyway, you know where I'm at on this. I think it's absurd. I think this is something that probably belongs more on MTV and not something I picture the Oscars embracing. It's like a participation trophy in a lot of ways. I don't think, to go over your words, that it's somehow they're locking these movies out. I think it's the whole idea that these movies have to rise to a certain level, and if they're not rising to the certain level, they're just not being considered. I mean, it's not like somehow Boss Baby is not being considered because it's not rising to the level like of something that a Pixar is doing. I understand that Boss Baby made like $500 million, but it doesn't mean that it's a great movie. You know, it's not. Anyway, I think this is a bad move for them. I honestly do.
Are you going to tell me that? I'm sorry. Are you going to tell me that Logan is not worthy of being in recognition for an Academy Award, in your opinion?
I'm going to say the answer to that is yes. I do not think it
Oh,
is.
please.
Well, let me finish. I think what I'm trying to get to is I think that's probably a movie that's closer to something that would be considered for the Oscars. I don't think something like a Deadpool, no matter how much money it pulls in, $900 million, somehow it should not be getting an Oscar movie unless it's something for special effects or some sort of costume. They're not going to be considering that movie of one-liners or jokes as somehow being the highest form of their craft, is what you're saying. The highest form of your craft. I don't care if Deadpool 2 makes $900 million and people enjoy it. That's not the highest form of the craft. Okay, Logan is something more near like the higher form of the craft of direction and writing and cinematography. I just don't see that going. I don't see Fast and Furious 10 as somehow being an Oscar worthy movie unless, once again, it's for some sort of technical category. I mean, that's where we're at here. I mean, I might consider, like, if you wanted me to break it down, I might consider something like a Wonder Woman or maybe a Black Panther or whatever else like that. But that's me begrudgingly just sitting there going, this seems like it's pushing the genre forward instead of giving me some sort of like Batman and Robin with George Clooney running around with Arnold Schwarzenegger saying one liners, Bill. That doesn't seem to me outside of my adolescent enjoyment of the film on certain occasions to be like a high level. It seems to me if I was an actor that's really working on my craft, like what's his name? What's his name? Christian Bale. I would probably be a little bit offended that know that somehow I don't know who's Bradley Cooper's Rocket Raccoon is being nominated for an Oscar. You know, as I'm sitting here honing my craft, and he's up there saying one-liners, and he's getting accolades. I think it would create a backlash from the more serious actors.
So Albert Berger, who is
Go ahead.
the Academy representative that talked about the reforms to, I believe it is the Hollywood Reporter, says he's a representative of the producers branch on the Academy Board of Governors, who says he was very involved in the Oscar changes. He defends the reforms, which he calls a work in progress, when he spoke to the Hollywood Reporter earlier this week. The announcement came ahead of all the details, and I think once people hear the whole thing, it will make more sense to people, he says. From my point of view, it's not about popularity. This new award, it's about excellence in entertainment. Berger pointed out that the very first Academy Awards, while Wings was named Outstanding Picture, Sunrise received a special award for what was called Unique and Artistic Picture. I think it's been very much in the DNA of Hollywood motion picture making that there's somewhere where entertainment and art should meet and commingle. He argued that the new category isn't so much about coming up with a criteria for measuring popularity, it is about recognizing excellence in movies that connect with actual people. It is not. I don't think it really is a popular film. I think it's for outstanding entertainment, and for me, that could mean Batman, Little Miss Sunshine, Risky Business, The Bourne Identity, any number of films that have been locked out of awards in the past several years. Just as everybody has their own definition of entertainment, I think they also have their own definition of art. It will ultimately be up to Academy members to figure out exactly how this will work.
This seems like a recipe for disaster.
I think it's high time that it's happening. I could not applaud it more. It is the first thing, whenever it's in 19 or 20 or 21 or whatever, is going to be the first year that I start watching the Academy Awards again because it's going to give me a reason to give a fuck, I hope. If movies that I like get nominated, which it seems like this will be the closest I might ever get to that. So, okay, I'm good.
Superman, Superfan Melissa, I'm with you. your anger, my anger has subsided,
Okay. I mean, it's
but
you don't it's fair that you don't like it. It's fair that people are going to be upset about it. But the people who get we're not, as we discussed this offline, we're not the deciders. The people who will decide are the people who are Academy members, which neither one of us or Melissa is. So we won't have that choice. But as movie fans, we will have a choice whether to either watch the awards because we are invested in some of the outcomes or
so
not watch the
is the
awards.
popular film category going to be 5 movies, or is it going to be 10 movies like the Best Picture?
I don't know. I don't think that they've really necessarily ironed that out yet. I would guess just, I mean, I don't know shit about Shinola, but I would probably say 5 because as it is now, they never fill the 10 movie category picture for best picture that they already have 10 slots for. So,
I find like this is almost designed to appeal to the mobs,
it is.
the
Absolutely.
madness of the mobs, of somebody going like, we need our Star Wars to be nominated, or we need Fast and Furious. What's going to happen when you have, outside of you just rolling around with your Captain Marvel blanket and Captain American shield and being all happy? Is there some sense where you can step out of your body when you sit there and look at it, when you have all 5 nominees being something like Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Fast and the Furious 8, Transformers 9, and whatever the new Harry Potter, whatever it is.
I
Whatever
have
that's
another
called.
list for you. How does
Okay,
this sound?
what happens when it's all those? Am I supposed to take that serious when they give an award out there as to being something just so great and worthy? Is that
What happened? I have another list for
go
you.
ahead, go ahead.
What about when it's Avengers Infinity War 2, Wonder Woman 2, um what happens when it's movies of a higher caliber, as you said, that would not ordinarily get recognized? What if there's 5 movies in there that you and I both go see in some miracle universe, both agree are outstanding motion pictures and should be recognized? I tend to look at it like that because I'm going to tell you, I watched Avengers Infinity War again this weekend as the Blu-ray came out, and that movie is fantastic. How about if it's Captain America Winter
Yeah,
Soldier on
you
the
know
list?
what? Yeah, well, you know how I feel about
Okay,
that.
well, I'm
Well,
saying.
the difference between you and I is I'm the robot, as you say, the android 100102. I can separate out. I mean, I can enjoy Under Siege with Steven Seagal. I can enjoy that movie on a level, but look at it and go like, it's a lot of fun, but this is not something I would consider like the highest form.
Winter
This
Soldier
is
is
the
not
pinnacle.
a lot of fun movie. It is a very uh,
There is
energetic,
there there, there
fast-paced
is there
thriller.
is very good acting within Winter Soldier. There are some cool action scenes. There is some cool direction. I think partly some of the time as I look at these films as to somehow be pushing the genre forward, that there's some extraordinary acting. And I think, it's not to somehow say that Winter Soldier is somehow so deficient. But I think there's a lot of other movies where the actors will go above and beyond, and some of the direction is just above and beyond.
And that's
It,
fine.
it,
They've
it
got
doesn't. It
10.
doesn't mean that somehow Winter Soldier is a bad movie. But for me to sit there and say that Winter Soldier was the best picture of a certain year, I would be kidding myself. I'd be
No,
laughing
you're
out.
not
Oh,
actually.
okay,
No,
it would just be ridiculous going on all the
it's
films and
not
the actors
ridiculous.
and the directions out there. I don't think that somehow that Chris Evans acting is somehow, and I don't think his peers would sit there and go like this. Your acting is just so well and beyond anything we've ever seen with this whole thing. Your Steve Rogers is just somehow just mind changing that we're going to put this in classrooms.
First of
I
all,
don't think
it's
I
they're
don't
not
think
creating.
I don't think Chris Pratt and the rest of these actors are sitting there thinking that their performances playing these roles are so like class worthy. Like they
They're
got to
not
just
creating an acting category for the most popular movie.
well,
They're
my
not.
whole point is that that's part of the whole thing with Best Picture in it, is that these people somehow take it to another level. I mean, that's what I would require something more from them. And I don't think they recognize it themselves. I don't think Dave Bautista is walking around going, "I should get a Best Supporting Actor for my role." Is he?
Well, I don't think that because an actor is in a certain particular genre that should preclude the fact that they should be nominated for an award for their acting. I'm sorry, but Chris Evans is Captain fucking America. Yes, Chris Evans is Oscar worthy just as much as Christopher Reeve was Oscar worthy as Superman because he embodies the fucking part in more than just one role in like 6 different movies at this point. Many more than that, I think. I think his contract was for 9. So yeah, I don't think because an actor is in a action movie that their performance can't hold up against somebody who's like, Sophie's Choice. It's all acting, and maybe some people who think that acting in those super melodramatic movies is over the top and a little bit much and whatever. I mean, I don't know. It's not necessarily one precluding the other, is all I'm saying.
What they should say is what the motion pictures arts and sciences, what they should say is that this category, one of the requirements is that you have to have a superhero suit, or your last name needs to be Skywalker, and or you've got to have a transforming robot in it.
That's fine. But you see, having this category does not take away from you Oscar purists who want to say, we don't want those movies, quote unquote, polluting our award ceremony, which, by the way, you people are so invested in, you don't watch either.
You know what
But
it is?
okay.
It's like, that's exactly what it is. It's like you're the hillbillies coming to like my sort of like event. I'm having a
It's not your event. You don't even watch the Oscars. It's not, but that's the thing. It's not like we're coming into your party that you didn't invite us to. You don't go either.
Yeah, you're like Uncle Eddie from like Christmas Vacation. That's what you're like. You're showing up, you're pulling up with your trailer, you're dumping your waste and sludge into my nice suburban neighborhood. Great outside. That's what it's like. You guys are crashing the party, and I don't think anybody really wants you there, but you're crashing the party anyway.
Well, that's okay. When the ratings go up, which I guarantee you they will, because people are actually giving a fuck about the outcome of some movie they've actually seen or heard of or their friends talk about, then it's going to be a category here to stay. People can bitch and complain all they want, but unless the ratings go down, which I find nearly impossible to do, then it's going to be around.
What's going to be interesting is that superfan Melissa watches the Oscars, I think primarily for the fashion and the glitz and the glam. And you've now some kind of gone MIA. Now you guys will be able to reconnect on a certain level because you'll be turning it on.
Yeah, and also, let's go to the other part of this issue that they're also going to cap it at 3 hours. I don't see any reason why an award ceremony should be 4.5 hours long. No one cares.
So the 3 hours, it seemed long to me. So it's no longer, what was it, 4.5 hours?
Well, it was 4 hours sometimes, almost 4 hours. I mean, it's too long. It's too
now
long.
3?
Yeah, now they said they're going to cap it at 3 hours.
And people complain about our show? Really?
Yeah, really. So
3 hours? That seems very long. Oh, okay. By the way, I did. We had the grandson over, so that's when I was also cooking. We were cooking ribs and everything else like that. We also finished watching Lord of the Rings, and I forgot all about it that we hadn't finished the movie. And so I was coming with all these other things to do. And he goes like this, well, one of those things, he goes, we have to finish Lord of the Rings. This seems like 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh, absolutely, we can finish Lord of the Rings. Okay, now you're speaking my language. But then we also watched Avengers Infinity War. Now, once again, don't ask me how. This is probably the third or the fourth time, probably the third time. I still have not seen the part where Thor gets his new eyeball.
Why?
How is
you fall asleep again?
No, I had to leave to go tend to the ribs, and by the time I came back, the scene was over.
You know, you just can rewind those things on.
I know I couldn't stop it right now, but for some reason, I think the universe is telling me I don't need to see this part. But either way, Bill, I know we're not really going to be talking about this, but
it's a fantastic movie.
That movie is so good. Unfortunately,
it's fantastic.
fucking Brolin, Josh Brolin as Thanos. I keep saying Thanos, but it's Thanos. Josh Brolin as Thanos. He is just so smooth. This is the type of villain I always talk about that I enjoy. I don't like the over the top Snidely Whiplash, villain. But this one here, oh, every time he says a line, it's just like his size, his girth, his voice. That character in and of itself is just a joy. He's just like this. Oh, this day exacts a heavy toll. I'm like, oh, this is so rich. It's just so rich. I
I agree.
mean,
I think the movie is. I personally hope that they do start it with 2019, and I hope that this movie gets into the category for most popular film. It's going up against Black Panther for sure, and Black Panther will probably win if it gets nominated. But to me, this movie is everything I wanted Black Panther to be and more.
oh, well, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that if we're going to parse it. I think it's a better movie. I don't know why I have to say that. That's you always telling me with the DC Marvel. I like this movie more. It doesn't mean that somehow Black Panther is deficient. But
Well,
that being
I
said,
do feel Black Panther is deficient. Is my
uh,
point. I mean, but
okay,
that's just my opinion.
all right. But that movie, I may just fire it up again because some of the scenes are just so fucking rich. Even the kid cheered when Thor showed up with his hammer and slammed it into the ground.
Yeah, that was
It's
a
just,
cheer moment.
oh, it's just so good. It's so good, and then the way
It's so good, and the thing about it is, they're balancing something like 30 characters in this movie, and yet everyone feels like they get a moment to shine or several moments to shine. And when they jump from like one group of people in one area to another group of people in another area, it's not like you go like, "What the fuck? What? What? I don't want to see these people. Go back to those people I care about." It's so rich because you care about everybody in the movie, and every time they switch locales, you want to see what's happening in that locale as much as you want to see what just happened in the one you just switched from.
I think that DC. I'm going to do a little poke there. I think DC can take a lesson from this. That Thanos, if you're going to create some overarching big bad, then when that character hits the screen, it's got to be magnetic. For me, I guess clearly I find it to be mesmerizing. This whole character in the
Well,
buildup
it's the
out of
same
all these
way.
movies, like over, from initially when you first saw him like in Avengers, with the whole turning around, looking like Grimace, a lot purpley back then, and then seeing him sitting on the throne and talk for a little bit, you're just like, well, is this just going to be one of those villains that at the end of the day turns out to be a Malekith that's a throwaway, that's going to have no substance, and it's going to be a whole build up, and just a lot of noise. What do I want to say here? Was
You
this
know,
all bark, no bite? All bark, no bite. And they exceeded expectations, I think, in my mind, in terms of the character that they presented.
well, what it is, and it's I mean, I hear you keep sucking off Thanos, and I think that Thanos is a
Well,
worthy.
that's not somehow saying that the other characters weren't good, but in terms of the big bad securing it, because was all building up to this big battle with this guy, and most of the time these things like a doomsday fall short.
Okay,
They
but
end
to
up
be
coming,
fair,
they end up beating him, and then the villains goes, he's just a whole bunch of muscle, he does some stuff, they fight, and it's over and done with. They've
okay,
created a whole nother character that rivals the other characters that they've been building up these movies. We get to know him a little bit more. We find that he's just not one note. He may be maniacal in his opinions of things, but he has emotion, he has range. He's just not paper thin in terms of I'm just good and everything is evil. I need to. There's a little bit more depth to the character.
okay, but to be fair, it's not like DC can't or hasn't done that type of character on that
I
multi-dimensional
said,
level.
well,
With, for
what
example, Zod in Man of Steel. I mean, Zod was that type of multi-dimensional villain character. I mean, I will find him.
Listen,
Okay.
okay, that's fine, but in terms of generally speaking, they don't do characters like that. There are certain exceptions. Zod is one, but if they're going to be doing some sort of long range story, let's say ending with Darkseid or whatever else, this is a pretty good template. This is where it needs to be going.
Well, it's too late.
They can't go the Doomsday route. There's too many villains where the ending is with a Doomsday character, like the ending of Thor 1 with the guy that opens up his blast shield and shoots fire. Characters that are just very just disposable at the end of the day. They're
Well,
just
I think
designed to be there for the superhero to rise up and be cast away and then move on to the next adventure. You know,
I think that it's not going to happen for DC with the cinematic universe. I think that's over for them. I think that Justice League has made them go in another direction as far as the financial success of the film. I think they're going to go more in a standalone, it's barely, connected between films kind of thing, which, I mean, again, I think Marvel is sometimes overpraised for the amount of interconnectivity that exists in the MCU. There are certain key scenes in certain movies in which they do build up a little bit at a time, but it's not like all the movies are so intertwined with this Infinity Stone stuff that it becomes like, one complete emotional payoff for that 20 film saga. I mean, it is that for sure, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just don't think it's as interconnected as people make it out to be. And that's not a bad thing. The thing that makes Infinity War such a great payoff is because you've had 19 movies or 17 or whatever it is now to get used to these characters that are involved in this storyline and care about them. And therefore, what happens to them and the fact that they get snapped out of existence hits an emotional note that's very powerful for people. And I think that that is the time, the luxury that DC wasn't afforded or didn't have the patience to afford itself with what happened with Justice League, in that they only had 2 or 3 films before they ended up trying to pair everybody together into this movie that sort of would pay off that universality thing. But in any case,
so I haven't said this, but this movie is definitely a top 5 of the year for me.
I think it is the absolute best movie in the entire MCU. And I say that hands down, unequivocally. I think out of 2017, whatever movies, this is the absolute best one.
I guess by just sheer there's so many cool scenes in that film just by the sheer number of of, of mind-boggling. I can't believe you did that. That's so damn cool. It would beat out Winter Soldier for me, but Winter Soldier is a different movie. I hate to have to do that, but just the sheer scale of it. I mean,
The best part about
there's
it is
so
for
many
me,
characters. There's so many cool parts. The way the whole movie starts off is just badass. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm just going like this. This is so cool. Just walking around. I mean, we pick up essentially at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and you're just watching this, and it's just like it just sets a tone. He just whoops Hulk's ass. I mean,
right.
as a comic book guy, you're just like you let me know everything I need to know about this guy. Everything I
The
need to know.
the
Woof.
best part about this movie to me is that it's only half the movie. We still have a whole other half yet to sit through and talk about an epic grandness, a conclusion to the whole MCU. I mean, as good as this movie is, if the second part's even better,
Oh,
I mean, they should go down as fucking epic, as like Lord of the Rings level fucking movies.
I mean, every line. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get off it. The Russos. They're from the Hellmouth. They, they're bringing the fire. They're spitting the fire, Bill. That reminds me. I see that Bloomhouse. I don't know. This is a kind of a throwaway. We don't really need to discuss this, but we're talking about universes.
Dark
I,
Universe.
yeah, I see that Bloomhouse is trying to maybe get a hold of that.
So what is it going to be like? They're certainly not going to have Tom Cruise in it because that would bust the entire budget for the next 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. I don't need to.
So
What's
is he just going to buy the brand name Dark Universe and then turn it into like, $1.98 beauty pageant? I mean,
I don't know, but I find it's going to be a real eye awakening experience for the studio when some guy who's making $5 million movies takes something that they starred Tom Cruise and they put all this money into it that didn't do jack shit, and they give it to this guy who doesn't have probably a big name director or a big name actor, and they're going to make it for $8 million, and it's going to pull in like 400 million bucks. It's
Universal is
gonna,
not going to sell him the Dark Universe
well,
moniker.
they
They're
should.
not going to do that.
They should be like Sony and just let it fucking go. Let it go. Let somebody else make the money. You keep some sort of residuals or whatever else you need to do. But if you're not doing it right, then you should recognize it and then turn it over to somebody else who might be able to take your chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad.
Why don't they just hire Jason to come onto their property and their lot, their studio lot, and head up the Dark Universe at Universal?
Okay,
Maybe
Bill,
he's not interested in that.
you're
I
thinking
don't know.
outside the box. Yeah, why not?
Maybe
That-
I
bring
imagine
the talent. Bring the talent to you.
I imagine that Jason is probably used to doing like Kevin Feige level shit where he's like, I answer to nobody, so I'm not going to be your little, you know,
Well, that would
yes
be the
boy.
whole idea behind it. If you come on board, I'm not going to be sitting there having guys go like this. Hey, listen, Jason, can you put in this Apple iPod? We need you to kind of push this because we got other sponsors. And can we bring in Megan Fox? Let's put her in there too. Can we? He's gonna be like this. No, 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 no.
Right. Which is probably why they won't.
Speaking of Kevin Feige, Bill, I think they're trying to get Antoine Fuqua in there.
Yeah, who is this guy? I know he's done something that you like.
What the fuck are you talking about? Who is this guy? Don't be
I've heard the
oh,
name.
oh, my Lord in heaven.
I've heard the name. I've heard the name bandied. Is he the guy who did Training Day?
Yes. One of my
Okay, you
fucking
see?
favorite movies of fucking all time right there, Training Day. Denzel
Okay.
Washington, Academy Award winning actor. That's where he got his award from. Anyway, I mean, he did Training Day. He did an old movie back in 1988 called The Replacement Killers that I did not know that he directed, but what it was one of my favorite movies with Chow Yun Fat. I think that's when he was trying to break in from into America, bringing his Asian acting chops over here,
Mhm.
and it didn't really work out too well for him. I don't think he was well received like Jackie Chan, but
It's
that
fine. Anton Fuqua sounds like he's a talented director.
well, look,
Can't he play on a team with other
he's done
producers
Olympus
involved?
Has Fallen, which I enjoyed. That's why I mentioned it. With Morgan Freeman and what's his name, Gerard Butler. I
Mhm.
enjoyed that movie. Let's see here, The Equalizer.
Yeah, and
Yes,
isn't he doing the Equalizer 2, or did he do the Equalizer 2?
he did. I haven't seen that one yet, but if it's like the first one, I'll probably enjoy it on the level that I'm supposed to enjoy it on, a very simple level. He also did The Magnificent Seven. I thought that movie was trash.
So you don't love everything he's done.
No, and I mean he's done a lot of movies that I haven't seen. He did Southpaw with what's his name, Jake Gyllenhaal. That was
Boxing movie?
yeah, underrated boxing movie. Not the same flash as something like a Creed movie, but it's got a lot of heart in it. I enjoyed it. I don't know what I want from him, but I think he's more than competent. I can think he can do a great action scene. The Magnificent Seven thing is a problem for me though. Because it has so many actors in it, Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington,
Morgan
and it's
Freeman.
something that what's that?
Isn't Morgan Freeman in that?
I don't think Morgan Freeman is in the Magnificent Seven. I do
Okay.
not. The actors that are in it, there's a ton of them, but I'm not going to run. Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, Peter Skarsgård. Anyway, moving on. I didn't think the movie was good at all.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to get Training Day, Fuqua versus Magnificent Seven. But I think that'd be great if they could get him over there to do something. I don't know what he would do, but that's kind of exciting for me because
No one knows what he would do because they haven't announced anything after Avengers 4.
Yeah.
So
I mean, are they supposed to be starting this Phase 4 soon enough? Aren't they going to have to start?
well, they're gonna have to start it like next year because Avengers Infinity War. No, Spider-Man is the first film of Phase 4. So
Do you think they're
yeah.
going to do something like once we get finished with Infinity War Part 2. Do you think they're going to have one of those comic book convention setups where we see a calendar for the next 5 or 6 years?
I think they will probably do something like that. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I see that as. I mean, the first one was pretty successful for them, so I don't see it. I've sort of heard it bandied about in interviews and so forth that that's what they plan on doing. So I think they're being very tight-lipped now because they don't want to acknowledge who it lives and who dies and all that business about Infinity War 2. So they're
Yeah.
being sort of standoffish about it.
Oh, I may have to just watch the movie again.
Wow.
I'm so
So
happy
let's.
we have Movies Anywhere app here now because I'm very excited about watching Deadpool 2 on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the extended cut. So, well, I
What is
think
that?
you'll have a choice, theatrical or extended. It's both, I think.
Oh, so I can
Um,
see more swear words and more nudity or whatever else, or more
more
bald
screwing
jokes. Yeah.
unicorns.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that movie, but I don't know if it's really gonna speak to me. I wasn't a big fan of the first one, as you know. So, um, but let's switch over to the TV side of things for just a second because even though we're going to stay in the MCU, but we saw the episode 3 of Luke Cage last night. We're going to watch episode 4 tonight.
I saw episode 3 back when I was like 8 years old, Bill.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is timely
I have some
as your
comments.
arrival. I mean, come on.
I have comments.
I can be. You come to my doorstep with episode 3 of Luke Cage. I hope you don't expect me to comment because I saw it a
No.
million years ago now. You come to me and I don't have any weapons to refute any of the
Really?
nonsense that you're about to say. But go for it. Go for it.
I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm so very bored. And I really hate the Jamaicans. I really hate them. First of all, you know my husband has a hearing problem. So
So
when
listen, man,
when
we're
they
gonna be
talking
giving
like
you
a
give
disabon,
it the rights and the beans, and we're gonna.
him's Luke Cage. Him's gonna get his ass a kicking by the real Stokes man. Okay. My husband's going to me like every time that guy opens his mouth, he's like, "What did he say? What? What's happening? Rewind that part." Okay. And I rewind it, and even I can't understand what the fuck he said. I find him highly annoying. I find the whole Jamaican storyline to be really not my cup of tea.
Listen, man, you're gonna have to get used to it because that's the whole season.
Oh, great. That's just great. I like the Mariah storyline with her daughter. That's like, but it's not the Mariah Stokes show. So I also, I mean, look, I like Luke a lot. The most interesting relationship on this show to me is about to end because him and Claire just broke up after he punched a hole in the wall. So, yeah, I think you told me that
She doesn't make an appearance for the rest of
Rosario Dawson's out. Deuces.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Her contract, her money ran out, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't need you for the next like 9 episodes." So
Yeah,
thanks.
which sucks because I think that's the best relationship on the show, really, and it's really the thing that like sort of keeps me giving a fuck amidst all of like the drug deals and the cartel with the fucking Jamaican gun running, all of this crap. I just don't give two shits about. But so right now I'm sort of like in a holding pattern with the show. Like I just want it to move forward and get out of this Jamaican storyline as fast as possible. Because the Jamaicans to me make Frying Pan Head look like Wilson Fisk.
Okay.
I just hate them. I don't know what's going on with them. I just don't like them.
So what does this mean here? Because you've got 9 more episodes to go, Bill.
It means we're gonna power through, of course, but I mean, I'm telling you, Jessica Jones season 2 was so much better. It was so much better. And actually I gave a shit about the characters and the storyline and what was happening, and this feels to me like it's teetering on the edge of like Punisher level, not giving a fuck for me. And I want to give a fuck because I really think Mike Coulter's a very good actor and he's very good in the role. But they're having Luke have these anger issues and stuff seemingly out of nowhere, like maybe like they're trying to say like the fame and the fortune is going to his head, and so he's like becoming an asshole. I don't find this storyline appealing. I just don't find it interesting.
Huh.
So, but Iron Fist 2 starts like next week. Did you see the new trailer?
I did not see the new trailer. I haven't clicked on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be partaking in that or not.
Okay.
I'm on the fence.
Well, the trailer looks good. Now, whether the show's any good or not, I don't know. I personally liked Iron Fist season 1. But it does look like they're going to amp up the action a little bit. And that's the other thing about Luke Cage. You're like, now maybe it's going to amp up later on because you were like, there's more action in it or showing off the powers more or something you told me. It's like, oh, what the fuck is with this show? It's like, there's like, where's the superpowers in the superpower show? Fucking Electro Woman and Dyna Girl on Saturday morning cartoons when we were in like the 7th, 6th grade, whatever, had more fucking action scenes.
Always been a problem with them. Always been a problem with the shows.
Ugh. All right, I'm done.
It's the weakness. Speaking of the TV side of things, I'm still watching Castle Rock. I meant to call you over the weekend over here to rant about it. I'm about 6 episodes in, 5 or 6 episodes.
There's only 10, right?
Yeah. I'm having trouble. But most of the reviewers, I'm having trouble with some of the. I like to. I guess I'm going to call them tricks, for a lack of a better word, by the directors or slash writers. There's been 4 different scenes over the past couple episodes where you have a character coming to you and go, Bill, I have something very important to tell you. It's about your. Oh, wait, there's a doorbell. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Oh, excuse me. There was like 3 or 4 scenes of that where you have major characters about to like reveal information that might help them out on the investigation or discovery, and they did some sort of like half-ass interruption by another character where you never get back to that scene and that information. It's just so mind-boggling frustration. Can you Okay, great. Thank you for interrupting me. Let me go back because somebody was about to tell me something important.
So is this their way of like building up suspense?
Oh
And
yeah,
so-
keeping the information secret, because if you told me right now, then it's like it's going to ruin something that's going to maybe happen in a couple other episodes, which is going to be a big reveal. And so, but it's just very frustrating because it's just so like blatantly obvious. Like if somebody has something important to tell you, like it's going to be about your mom. Oh, go ahead, get the mail, and then let's just move on. Like, just don't come back to the lunch table to figure it out, or just like, oh, never mind, we'll just talk about it later. No.
So their efforts to build the suspense is not working with you.
No. And then the one main villain that they have, the kid, he just walks around like he doesn't say anything. He's been locked away in a cage. He barely interacts with anyone. And the first thing you do is be like, hey, you can stay at my house overnight. I can tell you right now, Bill, if you ever came up to my place up here at Chateau Pain and you were acting weird, I'd be like, you can't stay here tonight because there's clearly something wrong with you. And I'm not going to have you pull out a butcher knife and slaughter the whole house tonight. Okay, so I need you to go. That's it. There's none of this whole like, oh, okay, he hasn't said his name. He's been in prison, locked away in a cage. You can sleep on my couch. What the fuck is going on? It's just like that. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. Oh.
So are you going to watch the rest of it, or are you going to give it up?
I don't know. After going through that whole thing, I'm going to finish watching the rest of it. So, fuck. Yeah.
That's 4 more hours of your life you can devote to something better if you don't.
Well, yeah, I may actually start to give Cloak and Dagger a shot.
Oh God, here we go. I knew this was coming. I knew it.
Listen, I may give it an episode or 2. to suck me in.
Why is that? Why are you changing your tune on Cloak and Dagger?
All sometimes you have to do is read one really good person selling,
Oh, that's what happened. Somebody said something good
and
about it, and
that
you're like,
you're
maybe.
changing the game and that it's going to be going on. I mean, I can give it one or two, Bill. I can give it one or two. When somebody sells it to me, I'll try it out.
Okay, well, let me know because
I mean, I
Luke
gave The
Cage isn't really
Gifted
doing
one
it.
or two episodes, and I was not impressed. So I can do the same for Cloak and Dagger. Maybe.
You gave what? 1 or 2 episodes?
The Gifted?
Oh, right. Okay.
How many did you give The Gifted?
1. I mean, what can I? No, maybe we watched 2. It might
Yeah,
have been
okay.
2, but still, it had to
So,
be.
in other news, of not getting a gift, apparently Dave Bautista is not going to have James Gunn under his Christmas tree this year. So, as rumor on the street is that Disney will not rehire James Gunn after the concerted efforts of the petition people and Dave Bautista. He's not coming back, huh?
He's not. He's gone, 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 gone. Like Gone Girl, gone. Um, the thing about Dave Bautista is, I just don't know what his end game is because he's keeping up the fucking diatribes against Disney on Twitter, and he's not letting it go. And they've made their statement quite clearly. It's over. We're not bringing him back. So, what is Dave Bautista's game here? Is he trying to piss them off enough into making them fire him?
Yeah,
Or,
I saw that he's been tweeting out some things. His agent has no control over him, clearly.
well, he's like, I guess he's like Trump of Marvel Universe, right? Like, you can't control people that don't want to be controlled, I guess. Um, although you would think his wife would be like, listen, I have,
I'm building a new pool in the
right.
backyard. And you're
I need
fucking
you
up.
to knock the shit off. Right. Um, I don't know what his goal is. It seems to me that he's aching for a breaking. So I hope that he chills the fuck out. They all signed their little letter. Everybody's pissed. We get it. We understand. They're not bringing him back. So it's either time to piss or get off the pot. I mean, go back and do the part or don't. I just don't know exactly. Like I said, is he trying to get fired? Is he trying to piss off the entire? Does he not want to work in Hollywood again? I don't know.
Right.
But I think
So
it's time to
Disney
figure that out.
plans on using gun script. I'm assuming whatever director they do hire will probably make some changes here and there, as directors always want to maybe put their little stink on things. But for the most part, they plan on using his script.
Right, that's correct from what I've
Okay.
read. Yeah.
And so it looks like James Gunn hasn't completely gone Kevin Spacey on this whole thing. It looks like somebody else is willing to pick him up.
Well, they're gonna use the script. I mean, if
Well,
they don't
no.
want to.
In terms of James Gunn's
Oh,
employment.
oh, oh. So as far as like, yeah, other studios want him bad. Yeah. I mean, he's made $1.7 billion with 2 movies. I mean, it's hard not to be able to write your own ticket. Despite the fact of what he's done, I think it's more of a Disney's reputation as a family-friendly organization issue, and not he's completely persona non grata Kevin Spacey fucked level of don't anyone go near him. So I think other studios will probably hire him. And you know what? If DC hires him, I think they could do worse for sure. The thing about it is what you want to put him on is some kind of like, pay or play clause where like if you tweet some nasty shit, you're out.
Well, I think he should be smart enough to know that.
Do ya? Maybe you should have been smart enough to know it in the first place. I'm just saying.
Well, that's fine, but I like to think that now he should know. Like I guess if he were to do this again, it's over and done then.
So I was actually, I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2 this weekend also. After Infinity War, I had like a taste for some Marvel in there.
Oh yeah, you always have a taste for the Marvel.
What I realized about that movie is that the whole movie is basically about toxic masculinity. It's about how men are just some men are just Ego is the perfect name for that character because he just wants to spread his seed across the universe, like so many baby daddies out there that exist in our universe. The ironic part about it is that the movie is about overcoming that kind of male dominant at all cost kind of thing, and James Gunn is kind of guilty of doing that exact thing that he put in the movie. That sort of like nastiness for nastiness sakes kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just that sort of like dunderheaded male thing that he's done himself. Maybe that was his way of exercising that ghost by doing that character the way he did, Ego. I don't know. It seems, though, in light of what's happened, that it's not just a coincidence that that story played out the way it did. It sort of feels like maybe that was James's attempt at redemption for his own self. I don't know.
Oh, you got some sort of psychology shit going on there.
Well, I mean, if you when you look at it, I mean, it is a diatribe basically against men and how men behave. Like the whole spreading your seed and all that stuff. I mean, that actually happens. Dudes are actually like that. And then there's also the thing about fatherhood, about how fathers sort of like it's like a competition between their sons sometimes. And it's either do as I say or I will crush you kind of thing. I don't know. It's just interesting psychological stuff. Again, this is stuff that's in a popular movie. They don't all have to be about just clanking robots. And there's stuff that, if you dig into it, I think is worthy of being examined more closely by an awards panel. Anyway.
Yeah. Please. Please don't fire me back up again.
It's fine. So, moving on, with Aquaman coming out the end of this year, on December 21st, I was looking at the calendar, and there is like 4 major motion pictures all coming out on that day. Welcome to Marwen, that Steve Carell movie with the dolls, is coming out that day. Mary Poppins Returns is coming out that same day. Alita Battle Angel is coming out that day. Bumblebee, did we say that already?
No.
Bumblebee. I mean, it would behoove DC, in light of the things that they've already gone through with their cinematic universe, or non-universe, whatever you want to call it now. Move the movie, please. Please move Aquaman. I really want this failure perception to end for them. And I don't see it happening if they're going to be on a day that's going to basically split the box office in 4 ways as their opening day.
And when you say split the box office, you're not trying to imply that Battle Angel is going to be pulling in $100 million. You're not.
No, I'm trying to imply that Mary Poppins Returns certainly will, and so will Bumblebee probably.
Okay. All right. I was about to say, because I don't see Welcome to Marwen somehow being some 90 million opening day weekend movie.
No, but it's also it's a major motion picture that's, even if it takes 5% of the box office potential away from Aquaman, is not desirable at this point for them as a studio, I would think. I don't know why they just don't fucking move the damn movie.
They don't want to make the money. They don't want to make the money, Bill. They're allergic to making money.
It just seems like such an easy fix, Jay. We're still several months out. They've just had Comic-Con where they announced the poster and all that stuff. They could have done it then. I don't know why. What is the holdup? Are they just being stubborn and trying to say we're not going to move? We're going to dig in our heels and not move? How well did that work out for them with Justice League? It did not. Very well. So why don't they try to hedge their bets and just move the goddamn movie? I worry for them sometimes with this kind of thing. It seems like an easy fix.
it seems like an easy fix, and it also gives them a built-in excuse. So, well, you know, it was stiff competition during that week. I mean, Mary Poppins, family movie, Bumblebee, Transformers got a history. It's tough competition. I mean, if we
Yeah.
make about 30 or $40 million in our opening weekend, we would consider that to be a success.
All right, let's talk about Watchmen. You know, HBO greenlit the show
Yeah, it's
this
set
week.
to drop in 2019. I see.
Yeah. So, looks like somebody's going to have to be sharing their HBO Now password. That's 2019. That's a whole
Yeah, I
scenario.
don't think HBO plays that game. Oh, actually, you know what? HBO does. I am able to give you my password. The problem is
Sweet.
that when I go to watch my show, it
Yeah.
sometimes will kick me out if somebody else is on my shit. So that
What are the
I'm just
chances? I'm watching one show on this whole network. What are the chances that's going to happen?
well, you know, now and then I might just want to pull up an HBO film just because I'm in the kitchen or I'm at home or whatever else.
You've got like 16 people sucking off your Netflix teat, and that's never happened before because you're
Wow.
only really allowed to have 4 simultaneous streams, and it's never
Well,
happened before.
I'm sorry. I did have an incident over this past week, to be quite honest with you.
Did you really? With who?
Well, you know, the youngest child went back to college
Uh huh.
and she took a Fire TV with her. Now, the Fire TV is loaded with all sorts of goodness. It's got my Shutter horror on there. It's got the HBO. It's got the Hulu. It's got the Amazon Prime bill. It's got HBO. It also has the PlayStation View. It's loaded, chock full of goodness.
Hmm.
Well, you know what? While the girls are on their girls' trip, I'm at home and I'm sitting there here going like, here, let me pull up my DVR because I'm going to watch some Better Call Saul. I go to access PlayStation View. I start playing a minute into Better Call Saul. Then it ejects me and says that somehow there's somebody else using my account in a different state, and therefore
Shut
it's yes,
up.
and therefore it boots me off. And I go, okay, I know how this game is played sometimes. How about I just try to, you know, go back into the show and then send it will force the other person off because I've accessed it twice, whatever that
Nice.
logic is. You know, it'll kick them off. Nope, I get a minute into the show and it kicks me off again. I try this two more times and then I realize that obviously they're watching the PlayStation View over there.
But that should you're supposed to be able to have 4 streams, and if there's only 2 people viewing it, you should be able to do that.
I think they might have some sort of location device where apparently that they know that somehow somebody else is in a
Is it
different
another
state.
state?
I listen. I actually call PlayStation.
And
And I asked them, I go, and I tried to ask it in a way that was just kind of like I didn't know this was
not incriminating
happening.
yourself.
Yeah, it was okay that and whatever else. They're like, yeah, sir, sorry about that, but yeah, that's obviously you can't do that. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of knew that. I just wanted to, you know,
So wait, the PlayStation View is the people that you have to contact, not Netflix.
no, not Netflix. No.
Okay.
So, so the solution is while she's out of state, if I want to use my PlayStation View, she cannot
That's your whole
access
way
it.
of getting TV.
Right, right. She can't access it. So she's been kicked off the PlayStation View while she's
Why
out of
don't you just
state.
buy her own account?
I'm sorry. Let me just go shake the money tree in the backyard then. Okay? Let me just go shake it. Do you want doubloons or you want gold bullion? What do you want? You want silver?
Well,
I
maybe her mom can buy her own
listen,
PlayStation account
listen,
then.
she's in school. She doesn't need to have access to all those networks. She's got Hulu, she's got Amazon Prime, she's got HBO Now, and she's got Netflix. I think that's good enough, Bill.
How does she have Netflix? Because she's using your Netflix, right?
She can if she wants to. Sure.
But there's only 4 icons on there, and they were already taken. Are you
Well,
booting somebody out of the system?
no, no. I'm assuming she just uses.
Yours.
Yeah, it doesn't make a
Okay.
difference. The icons are there just
Well, if
because.
she made her own profile, then she could save her own shows that she likes and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're really that involved, and I think there's only a couple shows that are watched. They're not aficionados like you and I.
Maybe you could
Um,
kick whoever that 4th person is off. I know who it is, and maybe you should just knock them out. They've been gone a long time.
yeah, you know. By the way, Netflix came out with some new icon photos instead of the
Yeah, I
ones.
saw them. They're cool.
Yeah, do you want me to pick a specific one out for you? You want me to pick
No, I
that
have one.
character from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? You want me to pick that character for you?
No, but I have really. Um, I have one. It's
That was
cool.
a little hanging fruit. Well, go ahead.
I like the one I have. I'm fine.
Oh, all right, that's fine. I was thinking about
I
changing
don't know why
mine.
you had to fucking say the one from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Really? Fuck you, asshole. It's not cute.
That's not cute. I know.
No,
I
he's not
haven't figured.
attractive.
I think I'm going to keep my character too. I mean, having all the choices, it doesn't make a difference. Anyway,
I think
so
you should
either
put the
way,
poop emoji up there for yourself.
I find it
It
just,
has multiple connotations.
okay, Netflix. All sorts of people could be on my Netflix, no problem. HBO, I
Fucking
can give
off
you
the
my
Netflix
password.
teat.
You can use Hulu. Appears that's not a problem, but PlayStation is not having that. They're not having it.
Well, because Jay, I mean, you could potentially act, slow down their network if, like, you're giving everybody and their grandmother your access. Then there's going to be more people than are paid. Well, I mean, I assume that would work for Netflix too, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for them.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of Damon Lindelof's Watchmen? In any case, now that it's been ordered to series, are you excited for it? It's not going to be a reboot of the movie. It's going to be a continuation in the Watchmen universe, but not necessarily the exact characters from the book or the movie. I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but it's HBO, and that's quality in your eyes. Damon
I
Lindelof, though, that's
am
Lost, so you don't know.
cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
The
Why
thing
aren't they
about
putting this? Why aren't they putting this on the DC app?
now, I want you to know that Damon has been a writer on Lost.
Sure.
And Lost starts off very strong for me, but ends with a whimper. Like I said, because I don't think they. I'm still of the opinion, without knowing shit. I get that. Is that they didn't have an idea that it was going to be as successful as it was, and they were too busy trying to like create the mythos after they dropped all these mysteries. Okay, like they were caught with their pants down, and they were just like, "Oh, what's the deal with the polar bears?" And they're just like, "Well, the polar bears. It's a mystery you got to figure out." They didn't have answers for shit. And by the time they got to the end of the series, I was not impressed of how they ended. I know I might be in a minority of that. I didn't care for it, but it started off strong. Those first 2 or 3 seasons of Lost were strong, strong. He also was the writer of Tomorrowland.
I wasn't a fan of that film, so
I was not a fan of that film either. He also is the writer for The Leftovers, which was also on HBO, which seems to be about like the rapture where you
right,
wake up and then like all the other people have gone to heaven and all the other there's some people left on earth. Those are the leftovers.
right.
And they're trying to figure out. Seems like a very cool concept. I think it's based off a comic book. I tried watching that show on HBO and I couldn't get into it at all. And it's cool. I did not like the direction of it. He's also the writer of, well, I'm sorry, the producer of Star Trek. Let me see what else he has written. Um, I like the World War Z. You know what it is? It's hit or miss with me. I guess that's my point with him. It's hit or miss. And so that's why I say cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping that for it to be a hit because Watchmen is something I think that universe and any new character I would enjoy, but I don't know the direction he's going to go or how he's going to write it or what. I don't know enough to know.
I like
Uh,
the Watchmen movie. I respect it more than I enjoy it as a film, to be honest with you. I respect the breaking of the genre conventions that movie employs. Um, I don't know that I need a 13-hour series about it.
really?
I think, well,
Why, if you like the universe, why wouldn't you want to see more of it?
because some of the tones in it are a little dark for me to really absorb and really feel invested in. Splattering Rorschach like an actual Rorschach stain on the ground at the end. It's a bit much for me to swallow from my heroes. You know, um, Comedian getting ready to rape Silver Sable or whatever her name was.
Yeah, it's very
This
dark.
seems like reprehensible hero type behavior. It's like that boys comic book you're always talking about. Uh, there's hardly anyone in the movie to really root for. And like I said, I respect it for breaking the genre out of the box. And as a 2 hour thing, I can get into it and I can enjoy it. I don't know if I need to immerse myself in that world week after week, hour after hour. Feels like it might get a little much for me. Unless they come up with some interesting new characters that
Do you
aren't
know if
necessarily pitch fucking black. But that's their thing. That's the whole Watchmen world, is that it's turning superhero conventions on its ear. So,
well, it's just showing you that the people themselves, they have their own difficulties and their own demons. They're just not like everything is given to them on a silver platter and they do everything well. They're not the
sure,
perfect
Marvel characters have
husband,
demons.
the perfect
They don't go around
father.
raping people. Okay?
Well,
Tony Stark's got his own demons. They all have their own, like, shit. But they don't necessarily, blow each other's heads off.
well, you have sometimes people in good professions who do bad things. I
Sure,
think that's the whole.
and I also don't necessarily know if I want to watch those good people or those good people in professions do bad things every week. I don't know if that's something I'm interested in
Well, that's fair. I think
following.
one of the unsavory parts is actually when the comedian does try to rape the one heroine.
Yeah.
Well, he actually does rape her. We just don't see it on screen
Well, I don't know because in the movie,
because that's his
the,
daughter. The one girl is supposed to be his daughter.
right, he doesn't rape her. He rapes her mom, or he
Right, he rapes
tries to
her
rape
mom.
her mom. But I don't know if it's different from the comic. But in the movie, another
Yeah.
character busts into the room and knocks him out. So he doesn't actually rape her in the movie.
No, but he ends up does having sex with her, creating the daughter that plays
Oh
Patricia.
yeah. They had sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but either way, it's not a good time when you see that. That's not like one of those movies you want to be sitting there with your in-laws
Yeah, I mean
watching. Like,
it's like I
you know,
mean if the comedian is supposed to be I don't know some kind of amalgamation between like Batman and Superman, then it's like Superman or Batman really kind of trying to rape like Lois Lane or
yeah, it's a combination of Superman,
Catwoman.
and Batman with like 30% Joker in them,
Right. Right.
which is you
I
know,
mean the only character that is really morally not completely bankrupt in the Watchmen universe, at least in the film, is Night Owl.
yeah, that's exactly it. The only thing is he's just like what impotent.
Yeah, he's impotent, but that's okay. I'd take impotence over axe wielding serial
Yeah,
killer any day.
yeah, yeah. I got you. I mean, I think in this world where there's some TV shows that seem very just pedestrian, I think I welcome the idea of HBO doing Watchmen. But the same thing, I also said same thing about American Gods, and a lot of people love Neil Gaiman stuff, his written stuff, and I've tried and tried to get into it, and I just can't. But it was the same type of excitement that I had for American Gods, and I believe both you and I had the same experience that we just did not enjoy it for maybe different reasons, or could
Right.
get. Um, and it's just very cool and the trailers and the characters seem fascinating, but just having it all, it just didn't come together for me. And I hope that Watchmen is not like that for me. I understand you're
Yeah,
going to
I agree.
disagree.
I hope it's more accessible for me but the themes and the tone of it is really going to be what is going to be, it's not like I'm completely opposed to those kinds of themes. I mean, I like Quentin Tarantino movies and they're full of like, reprehensible characters. But
I just watched The Hateful Eight again this over the past couple weeks.
oh really?
Yeah,
Um yeah, I
but you're
mean,
right. There's a lot of themes and a lot of language and things that go on. They're just very unsavory.
right, but they also aren't supposed to necessarily represent a hero point of view. So I guess I have a problem with people dressing up and trying to call themselves like justice warriors and then doing, some of the shit that some of the Watchmen characters do. But I'm certainly in for trying it. I'm certainly going to give it a longer leash probably than I would like any other TV show about any other subject because this is my wheelhouse and I do have an interest in the universe. I'll just see how it goes and see, if it becomes too dark for me. It's just going to be too dark for me, but we'll see.
I look forward to sharing my HBO password with you. How many passwords have you shared with me?
Well,
over the past years? You
well,
haven't shared shit with me. Every
you,
time you seem to
you've
get
got my
some
movies
sort of
anywhere.
well, look, every time you get some sort of streaming service, you seem to get the one that you go, I sorry, I can't give you my password. It's only one stream. That's everything you get always seems to have only one available user.
I gave you my movies anywhere. I just uploaded Avengers Age Infinity War to it so that you could share it. And I'm going to upload Deadpool on
Let's be
Tuesday.
quite honest with your movie. I'm very thankful and grateful
Oh,
for this.
yes, you sound like it.
Okay, I don't know why you don't have any of the Lord of the Rings in your selection.
Because they're not available on digital download with the Blu-rays. That was before they
Then I
started
think you need to
including.
do something to make them accessible to me and other
Really?
members of my clan over here that want to watch the shit when we want to watch the shit.
Try watching The Hobbit. That's on there.
No, we don't want to watch The Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, your movies anywhere thank you app is your password and username. That's all great, but the thing about it is that's movies you upload from your collection of things you buy. I need
Right.
to have access to other things in there that might not be in your collection. That's what I'm
Oh,
talking about. I'm talking like your CBS password or your future Disney password. I want access to the good shit, not something that's somehow regulated by you, okay, or just access to your collection. I need to have access to
I'm
other
giving you
things.
access to the best of the best, motherfucker. This is the stuff that I buy with my hard-earned money because it deserves my owning it in the highest quality format I can.
This is what happens when I sit on this couch down here over at Chateau Pain in the studio. When
Hmm.
I'm sitting with the 9-year-old and I go, "Okay, are you ready to watch Avengers: Infinity War?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Let's pull this up." I go, "My friend Bill has it on his, he has his collection uploaded. Let's go through it." And this is what we go through line by line. Crap, crap, crap. More crap, 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 crap. Beauty and the Beast, crap. Here we go. Avengers: Infinity War. Something
Really?
good. Something good. That's what we do.
Wow. Okay. Well,
You need
maybe
to
you
add
should watch
more in there.
Deadpool 2 with him. Do you think that would be age appropriate when it comes out on Tuesday for you to sit
Nope.
down with him and
Not
no?
if I want my woman to come down here and be like this. What are you doing? What are you doing? And Deadpool goes like this. Waka waka. Look at my dick. Look at my dick. No, that's not going to be appropriate.
All right.
So, but anyway, what else do we got here?
You saw Kevin Spacey's movie came out this week, Billionaire
Made like
Boys Club.
126 bucks. The thing about it is, I believe
It
the
was
movie
only
was
released in 10 movie theaters. Okay, so it's not like it was like a 4,000 movie theater
yeah,
movie.
and it was a movie, correct? Was it Billionaires Boys Club? Is that
Yeah,
what I?
that's the
Now
name of
you
it.
know the TV show that starred Judd Nelson back in the day. I want to say it was like in the 80s. Do you remember it?
I don't.
It was like a TV series. I loved the Billionaire Boys Club. It's the type of shit I taped on the VCR because the concept, based on a true story, was just so cool and so campy in a lot of ways. Um, but maybe
Well, it's already been released on demand, so I don't really know what the purpose of putting it out in theaters after the release of. I don't know what that was about, but they said the average per location total was $12.60 for each theater it was in.
now I know when the article comes out like that and it says Kevin Spacey movie 126 bucks. It's designed to sit there and say like his shit is radioactive. Nobody wants to touch his shit. Allegations have killed any potential box office for him. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if I draw that relationship right there. I just
So you really think that the fact that it made $126 has nothing to do with the fact that Kevin Spacey has been accused of sexual abuse and basically busted off the first load from the Me Too movement? You don't think that that's not something to do with it? Really?
no. The movie stars Emma Roberts. It's got Taron Egerton in it.
Ansel Elgort?
Yes. So no, I'm looking at the cover now, and this is a movie. Here, I'm adding it to my watch list right now. I'm adding it to my watch list. I can apparently rent it for $7 if I want to at this current point in time.
That's more than it made in movie theaters, so they should be happy to get it.
His name is nowhere near it. I'm looking at it starring. They don't even put his name up front. which is probably wise. Um,
How are you gonna have a movie with like king pervert of boy rape in a movie called Billionaire Boys Club? I would have just scrapped the whole thing. Forget it.
well, they had already put this shit on print. They were too far ahead. They don't have enough money to sit there and scrub them out and bring in some other actor. I can't remember that last movie where they scrubbed him out of all the money in the world.
Oh yeah, they replaced him with that. Yeah, I forget who, but I know what you're talking about.
I, uh, I don't hold that against Kevin Spacey. I'm watching the movie if it looks good. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
if they had Kevin Spacey in,
So
wait, if they had Kevin Spacey in Aquaman, is that going to stop us from going to see Aquaman on December 21st?
no, because no one can stop my DC love. But it's like for general audiences, why don't you just put Jack the Ripper in like Mary Poppins Returns? I mean, general audiences don't want that shit. People are a little bit more sensitive.
You know what?
This is the Me Too era.
I guess we all have our sensitive subjects. I'm not endorsing anything that Kevin Spacey or James Gunn has done. I disagree with it, but it's a matter of if they're in something that's in my wheelhouse, I may be able to get past it. Now, certain other activities, I may not be able to get past them. But this, I don't think they've hit on things that somehow prevents me, like Kevin Spacey being in this movie is not going to go stop me from seeing the Billionaires Boys Club. Now he
It
can do
doesn't
some
put a
other
bad
shit.
taste in your mouth.
Now, if he started like burning some sort of crosses in the neighborhood and saying, all the blacks need to get out, then at some point in time you're going to cross the line for me where I'm going to be like, I'm not going to go see your movie.
So basically, you're fine with the fact that he was basically Bill Cosbying a bunch of young men in Hollywood. You're okay with that.
No. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But it doesn't.
But just not going to stop you from watching him in a movie. Okay, you're somehow it doesn't repulse you to the fact to the point that you
I'm
can't.
not endorsing the behavior, Bill. I think it's deplorable. But I mean, if he has a bit part in Avengers: Infinity War, what am I supposed to sit there and say I'm not going to go see Avengers: Infinity War because Kevin Spacey had a bit part?
Kevin Feige would never. Okay, that's the point. You don't go near these people. Kevin Feige would never put him in a movie. Okay, but and if he was in a movie that he filmed before the shit came out, they would do what that other movie did and exercise him from the film and put somebody else in there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just don't think that, I don't know. I mean, I watched Superman Returns lately in the last couple months,
Okay.
and he didn't repulse me from being in it because it came out before all of this nonsense made the news. So it's like, I didn't know, and I don't know. I guess maybe you have a point because it didn't stop me from liking Superman Returns.
No, I think I'm separating them all. I'm all separating it all out. So,
But where is there a line that you can't separate? I guess it's when they start burning crosses in your neighborhood.
well, I think there is a line, and like if you take some of my favorite movies, and then I found out that some people did some nefarious stuff, I don't know if it stops me from liking the movie if I already had it in my collection. Um, would it maybe stop me from supporting them in the future projects? I guess if I felt strongly about it, I would try, but I guess it depends on what level. What level? Like, am I so committed? Let's just say, like, somebody did something. Okay, here we go. We got Avengers: Infinity War coming out, and we found out that Kevin Feige. I don't know what it is. I don't know what issue would be for you, but let's just say he was out there like gay bashing, like him and his Kevin Feige and his cohorts were out there beating up gays on the weekend. Okay,
Right.
it's on video, it's YouTube, it's a big scandal, and he's the architect of this universe or whatever else like that. And by going to this movie, you're some way somehow putting money in his pocket and supporting something that he's created. Okay, would you feel so strongly that you wouldn't go to the theater, but at some point you would watch the movie on video? You would do something to sit there and say, I'm not happy with this and I don't want to put my full weight behind it. Or would you just go see the movie? I would try to do something little like that where I would try to hurt you in one way in the pocketbook, but I don't know if I would not see the end product. I don't know.
That's a tough one for me. I'm gonna be real honest and break it down for you. If Kevin Feige wasn't bashing me in the head,
I
I
can't.
don't know if it's gonna
That
stop me.
superfan Melissa once again is crawling through the radio screen going, "Come on!"
I'm just saying.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. Are we still watching the Cosby Show? Can we still watch the Cosby Show? We're back there again.
We can't. But you know what just happened?
What, you lost another honorary degree?
Nope, your shit just started like talk. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, don't tell me that, Bill. We've come so far.
I know, but we're fucked.
Is it really doing that right now?
It is.
I don't believe you because everything seems to sound good on my end.
Really. So we're gonna try to pretend this isn't your fault.
What's happening on your end?
Nothing's happening on my end. My shit's on lock, motherfucker. I have a direct feed to NASA over here.
Am I breaking up?
Yes.
Okay, I'll call you right back.